Jim Hendricks, CCA. How are you, my friend?
Good, good. Great to be here with you, Phil. I love your offices. I love the view. Man, it's just like out there, I want to climb on a boat and go fishing.
I'm telling you, man, it's so nice. And what a beautiful, gorgeous summer-like day we have today.
Yeah, after all the rain this weekend, it's really great.
I know it's a little crazy in here. All of these things you see, Jim, are donations that go to Mexico, and they just had some fires down there.
Okay.
So we're going to assist some people in Tijuana, in south of Rosarito.
Nice.
We took care of Cedros Island here recently.
Very cool.
So, yeah,
Very cool.
I know it's a little bit of a crazy mess here.
So it looks like my office, basically.
You're right at home, man.
Maybe not as bad as my office.
Yeah, I doubt that. You're being way too kind. Jim, we've got several things we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the fact that we may be in a no-take situation on sand bass if we don't come together as a community. We're going to talk about the STAR Tournament,
right,
which was a huge success for CCA with great prizes and competition, friendly competition, and so much more. And who knows what else we'll get into. But let's start with the sand bass because people are worried out there, and some people don't know a thing about it. So why don't you start right at the very beginning? What's going on with our sand bass? So
the California Fish and Game Commission is considering reducing the limits on the take of sand bass. If these regulations, if they're instituted, will take place on April 1st of this year. So we're not.
Ouch.
So there's a hearing coming up on February 13th, where they will be considering a no-take season from June 1st to August 31st. Plus, they may be cutting even more of the limits of other times of the year.
They're trying to focus on the migratory period, right? It sounds like.
During that summer season, the summer of sandies, when everybody loves to go out there and catch sand bass. It's easy fishing, kids catch them. You know, everybody loves to catch the sand bass.
Good eating, they're fun to catch, right?
Yeah, and what they've done is they've done a study. This was by the Department of Fish and Wildlife, and the Fish and Wildlife said that the catch rates of sand bass have declined over the past 10 years.
Okay.
So they're thinking because not as many people are catching sand bass or landing sand bass, in other words, bringing them in here to 22nd Street Landing or wherever, that the sand bass populations are in trouble.
So it's based solely on that, pretty much.
It's based almost solely on the catch rates. And remember, sand bass are not a commercial species.
That's right.
They enjoy game fish status along with calico bass and spotted bay bass. So the only people catching them and keeping them should be recreational anglers.
Yeah.
So those have declined. Those stocks, not the stocks have declined, but the catch rates have declined. And what we're saying is, what CCA California's official position is, that catch rates alone are not enough to justify a no-take season for barred sand bass.
Right.
And there are a lot of reasons for that. You know, we certainly should be taken into consideration, but there are a lot of reasons that the catch rate may have declined over the years. One of which is, hey, we haven't been fishing for sand bass that much because we've had great offshore fishing.
Right? Yeah.
Right. Yellowtail, mahi, tuna. You name it. I mean, remember the year of the mahi a couple of years ago? Nobody was. If you told me, let's go fish for sand bass, I said, no.
What do you got, a screw loose?
Let's go catch some Dorado, man.
Yeah.
So, but we had great bluefin fishing, guys getting on boats, catching bluefin.
Yeah.
And so we really haven't fished. I talked to one boat operator. She said she has not fished sand bass for the past 4 years.
Wow.
They just haven't fished them.
Yeah.
Because they had such great offshore fishing.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. The reason we say catch rates alone do not justify a no-take season.
Right,
on sand bass.
There's a myriad of other factors. Oceanography is a big one, right?
Right. So the report really doesn't adequately reflect the migratory nature of sand bass. You know this. Everybody who fishes sand bass realizes, including scientists, the sand bass aren't here year-round. These big migrating schools come up from Mexico.
Right.
They migrate up from Mexico. And sometimes they find what they need down in Mexico.
They just hang out there with their margaritas.
They're here. You know, they're there to spawn. And if they find the right temperature and the right food source and all the water quality that they like,
no need to travel any further.
They'll stay right there and procreate.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, and these things are all cyclical. All natural phenomenon are cyclical. Sometimes they come in, sometimes they don't come in, sometimes they stay in Mexico. So we just don't know, we don't know what the transborder migration patterns are. We don't know what's happening with them. So
something that's analogous, I think, you see if you agree with me, but everybody agrees that the albacore stock is fine. However, if you looked at the catch rates in Southern California over the last 20 years, you'd say, well, there's no more albacore left.
Perfect.
And right?
Perfect example.
Yeah.
You'd say, hey, there are no albacore because we're not catching them. Well, that's an illusion. I call it an illusion of decline. They're catching them in other parts of the world. Up north, they're catching them. They just decided to bypass, it's cyclical. They decided to bypass Southern California.
Yes.
Unfortunately for us, we don't get to catch those
me
tasty
too.
creatures.
Yes.
So the other thing that you have to consider, 12 years ago, I don't know if you remember, the bass limits were cut from 10 to 5.
Right.
So now it was for all the bass in combination. So you could have 5 sandies or 5 calicos or 5 spotted bay bass.
And the length was increased to 14 at that time?
Or was it? Yeah, it was from 12 to 14.
Yeah.
So now, of course, catch rates have declined.
Yeah.
They've cut the limit by 50%.
Yeah.
And they've increased the size. So, all right, well, we're not catching as many because you changed the regulations. So that's the other thing that we have to consider.
That's also very logical.
And I'll point out another thing about the sand bass. There has not been a recent stock assessment. In other words, they've never gone out within the past 10, 12 years and counted the number of sand bass. It's a tough thing to do, and it's expensive.
Yes.
But nobody's gone out and said, oh, here's the stock assessment of sand bass. So without knowing, Wayne said this to my good friend Wayne Cotto said this to me, if you don't know what the biomass is, there's no way you can determine the sustainable take of any species. So we don't know what the biomass is.
That's 100% correct.
Yeah. So if we don't know the biomass, we really can't set regulations. So I think they also said, well, we're not seeing a lot of recruitment. Recruitment's a weird word. It means small sand bass.
Yes.
How many small sand bass are being caught? And they said, well, we're not seeing, and most of this is coming from the landings from sport boats, just like we're seeing outside here.
Yes.
They're saying, we're not seeing these small sand bass. Well, you're not seeing them because a lot of times those sport boats, if they catch smaller sand bass, they're moving off. They don't want to sit there and catch short fish.
Yes.
The other thing is most of these sand bass are living in the bays and harbors, or estuaries. The sport boats aren't fishing in the bays and harbors and estuaries.
That's right.
So that's where most of the sand bass are being caught. Small sand bass are being caught. So it really doesn't adequately reflect recruitment, that word recruitment, which means smaller sand bass. I'll say this too. Declaring a no-take season on sand bass really disproportionately affects underprivileged communities. Those who aren't able to get out and go offshore fishing, who don't go on the long-range boats.
The half-day guys.
The half-day guys, or the shore anglers, or the pier anglers, or the surf fishermen. It disproportionately affects the underprivileged and underserved communities. So you're taking away, and many of whom rely, and tribal communities, I'll say that as well.
Yeah.
Who really rely on sand bass as for sustenance, for subsistence.
Yeah.
So you're disproportionately affecting, which I believe kind of violates some of the principles that the Fish and Game Commission have adopted of justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion.
Yeah.
So it violates the very principles that they've adopted. The other thing is you're taking away this great fish that bites easily, who fights hard, is great. You're taking away from the kids who are on their summer break out there from school, going on the sport boat. For some of them, it's the first fish they ever catch. It's the first fish.
It's a gateway to.
It's a gateway fish. Exactly. That's a good term for it. It's a gateway fish to inspire youngsters to develop a lifelong passion for fishing and love for the ocean.
Yeah, and those kids will surely grow up to protect the ocean.
That's right. So I think for a lot of reasons, listen, if they cut the limits, that's one thing. What I'm saying and what is the line in the sand for CCA California is not a no-take season. We cannot have a no-take season.
That would be devastating.
It would economically, it would be devastating to the sport fleet.
Yeah.
It would have a lot of economic and socioeconomic impacts on the community. So now, what can you do? That's the next question.
That's actually the next question. Obviously, what can all the people who are listening to this podcast right now, what can they do, Jim? Is there anything?
Yes, there's a lot, and a lot's happening, but it has to happen pretty quickly.
Okay.
So The Fish and Game Commission has set a deadline of January actually January 30th. We said January 29th because we want to make sure everybody gets their letters in. If you go to the CCA California website, I think it's ccacalifornia.org/sandbass, and sandbass is one word. If you go to that, there's you can take action. There's a letter written. There's the address. You can go right to the letter. You can cut and paste it into your email.
Perfect.
There's the address. Put your name and at the end and send it off to the California Fish and Game Commission.
Perfect. And if somebody wanted to pen their own thoughts, they're welcome to do that,
absolutely,
right?
Okay. And we've also put on the site some message points, that they might want to touch on. But yeah, it's absolutely whatever they want to write. But the point is, we want to put the Fish and Game Commission on notice. We will not accept a no-take season.
Yeah.
And we want to put public pressure on them to do that.
Yeah, I think it's so important. I'm sure they're also throwing that term around that you've heard throughout the years, best available science, which pretty means like we don't have any science, so we're just the best available.
In fact, I wrote a column for the magazine I write for, Saltwater Sportsman, an editorial, and it's titled "Best Available Nonsense."
Exactly, right?
It's just this huge data gap. They're relying on the information that you and the sport boats, we give them that data, and they're using that data to say you're catching too many sand bass.
Yeah.
So we want to fight this. Nobody likes it. Nobody wants it on the sport fishing community. So if we can put the fishing game, we can make a difference. We have enough. There's a lot of things. Wendy Toshihara, one of my good friends.
Yep.
She's got a petition out now. You can just go there and click on the petition. She's got since yesterday, she's got 200 anglers signed up on her petition.
How do we find that? If you don't know right now, you can tell me, and then I can put it in.
She's a friend of mine, so I've got it on.
Okay, great.
I've got it on my Facebook page.
Okay. We'll figure that out.
Yeah,
we'll
figure
put it
it
up
out.
there in text.
In the meantime, go to CCACalifornia.org and go to /sandbass, and all the information you need is right there.
And Jim, what is the time frame again? Because it's urgent, right? It has to happen right away.
Yeah. January 30th is the deadline.
Okay.
I mean, the meeting doesn't happen until 2 weeks later, which is February 13th in Sacramento.
Is that an open meeting?
It is an open meeting. Okay. Anybody can go. It's a public meeting.
Yeah.
You don't have to drive to Sacramento to go there. There is a Zoom link on the Fish and Game Commission website.
Yeah.
And you can go to that Zoom link and you can join the meeting. You can go up in the queue to make comments. I suspect there's going to be a lot of anglers making comments on this. So,
and keep them smart and don't. In other words, don't.
Yeah. Be respectful.
Please
stick to the message.
Yeah.
The problem is when we have so many anglers going there to the website to the Zoom meeting to make comments, they cut the comment for each person down.
Yeah.
So if there's 100 people wanting to make comments, it's going to be a minute.
Yeah.
If you've got 10 people wanting to make comments, it'll be like 3 or 4 minutes.
Right.
So that's how they gauge how long you can talk.
Yeah.
So have your comments concise, to the point, and have some sort of action at the end.
Yes.
That's what you want to do.
Excellent.
So, but the first step is writing in and flood them with letters. Let them know we don't approve, we don't want this. And make sure you get that in before January. I'm going to say January 29th because I'm an early bird, but January 30th is the real deadline.
Okay, 29th would be a good goal for everybody to have.
Yeah, it would be a great goal.
All right, good. Is that it on the sandbass? Can we move ahead now?
Yeah, we sure can. Yeah.
Let's move. We can kind of move into 2 things here now. We can move into the Hall Show,
right,
and the Star Tournament because there's a special going on there, right?
Yeah, they're kind of related.
Yeah.
So we've got, everybody knows the Bart Hall Long Beach show is coming up here.
Thursday.
Yes, right. Thursday through Sunday this week. It's going to be a great show. I'll be there. CCA will be there. And we're going to have our grand prize in the Star Tournament on display. It's a Parker center console, 18-foot, 18 SE center console fishing boat with a Yamaha 150 outboard and a trailer.
Just so everybody can drool. And
yeah.
I get you, man. That's a great prize.
It is a great prize. It's, it's just like $60,000-$70,000 boat. I'm not quite sure the exact retail on it, but last year somebody won it.
Yeah.
In the STAR tournament, and you know what? A lot of guys were in. There was 760 people entered in the STAR tournament.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And a guy only entered 2 fish.
He was the guy that won the boat?
Yeah. So you enter 2. The way the STAR tournament works is that you catch an eligible fish of a qualifying size in eligible waters, and you take a picture with the Fishing Chaos app, and you just submit it right like that, and you can keep the fish or you can release it or whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
So the species that are eligible for STAR include all of the basses. So you've got Calico sand bass and spotted bay bass, California yellowtail, white sea bass, tuna, all the tuna species. Yellowfin, bluefin, big eye, skipjack.
Yeah.
So halibut. California halibut is an eligible species too. And then this year we're adding striped bass, salmon, and lingcod.
That's right. Yeah, you told me
I
that.
remembered them.
Yeah, good job. I didn't see peek at your notes or anything.
I know. So thank you. The other thing we're doing this year is we're opening it up. We're opening the contest up to, or the raffle up to the eligible waters will include Mexican waters now. Last year it was only California waters.
Oh, great.
Ocean waters. This year it'll be from the Mexican border down to Cabo San Lucas.
Oh, fantastic.
So any fish that you catch in that range from Cabo San Lucas up to the California-Oregon border is eligible for the STAR tournament.
That is great.
Yeah, but you have to sign up for STAR.
Yes.
It starts on, some important things, starts on Memorial Day weekend,
Okay.
so the Saturday before Memorial Day, and ends on Labor Day, 2025. And you can submit up to 2 fish in each species category per day.
And then you get, a raffle ticket? Is that how that works?
You get electronically entered into the raffle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there'll be there's 14 weekly prizes, which is really cool. But if you win a weekly prize, it still doesn't make you're still eligible to win one of the grand prizes. Of course, there's the boat, but there's all kinds of other cool weekly prizes that we've got from companies like Promar and Newport, Ingle Coolers, Salty Crew, Turner's Outdoors, Decked. So we got all kinds of really cool grand prizes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This year.
So the more you fish, the more you catch, the better your chances are. However, you did point out the guy with 2 entries won the boat.
We had one guy with like 90 entries, and he did win something, but he didn't win the boat.
Yeah.
I'm missing something really important here. This year there's a scholarship program. We have $15,000 in scholarships in the youth division. So there's a youth division. You can enter in the youth division, and you can win if you're drawn in the raffle, you win a scholarship.
And so you get $1,000 to do or to.
I think it's like $5,000 per. So there's 3 scholarships.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It's very cool. It's very cool. I was there for the drawing last year, and it was a lot of fun.
Jim, what I like about it is that in a lot of tournaments, you'll see a guy that catches some huge fish, and you're like, well, that's it.
Yeah.
No one's going to beat that.
We're done.
We're done. But here, you could catch one qualifying fish, maybe it's small.
Right.
And you're in there for the boat, man.
Right.
You got a chance.
Yeah, and you can, so it's $40 to enter.
That's so reasonable.
Yeah. And you have to be a CCA member to enter, but it's $40. So, and CCA membership is $40 a year. So if you're already a CCA member, just $40, and you're in the tournament and you're ready. You'll get a measuring device. You'll get access to the Fishing Chaos app. I did it last year, by the way, just to see how fun it would be.
Yeah.
This year, no, I'm going to tell you this: no CCA board members are eligible.
Oh, okay.
So we don't want to have like me winning something after I'm here promoting it.
Yeah,
oh, who won the boat? Oh, Jim.
Exactly.
But and CCA staff is not eligible either.
Yeah.
But anybody else is eligible to enter the tournament.
And if you go to the Bard Hall show, which is Thursday through Sunday, you got a special going on there, right?
We do. So for Bard Hall, we've got a 1-year membership to CCA, which is a $40 value. We've got a entry into the STAR Tournament, which is a $40 value. We also are going to give you a digital subscription to Western Outdoor News. Daiwa's donating a spool of 15-pound J-fluorocarbon line. Gamakatsu's donating a package of split swivels and folding scissors. That's a $150 value right there. We're offering that for $100 at the Bart Hall show.
Get you into the show, get you in the tournament, get your CCA membership, and all of those goodies.
Right. So it's a great time to go to the show, sign up for CCA, sign up for the STAR Tournament, get some goodies, and take a look at that, drool over that boat, which we're going to have on display.
Oh, man, that's going to be great. Are you going to be hanging out up there?
I will be there, yeah.
Every day?
I'm going to try to be there every day and hang out and talk to people and tell about what we're doing with. It'll be almost too late for the send the sandbass letter, but there'll be a couple of days during the show when we can actually ask people to do that.
Great.
We'll be talking about STAR. We're talking about all the great things that CCA does, and that's I probably should have led with that one.
Well, I think it's important. Yeah, people need to know, because this right to go fishing is something that could get taken away from us.
Right.
It really could, and CCA is out there in the front battles.
There are so many battles.
Yeah.
And one of our primary missions is advocacy on behalf of anglers. Our mission is habitat, advocacy, and the hatchery program, the white sea bass hatchery program, which we're heavily involved in as well. I sit on the advisory panel of the white sea bass hatchery program, for example. So we're heavily involved in that. But the two things, we believe that good marine conservation is completely compatible with responsible, sustainable, consumptive fishing. And there's no reason why you can't go out there and catch fish and keep fish if you want. You don't have to, but if you want, and we can at the same time we can be advocates for the marine resources.
Of course,
we can say
they go the symbiotic relationship there, right?
It is. And I'm gonna get a little political here right now.
Doggone it, go for it.
But one of the things I think organizations like the agencies like the Fish and Game Commission, and there's another one called the Ocean Protection Council. So the Fish and Game Commission right now is involved in the MPA Decadal Review. It's I think everybody's aware we have this network of marine protected areas up and down the coast.
Yes.
So that was established about 12 years ago, and now they're looking at ways they can change or expand or contract. We're hoping the network of marine protected areas. So we're involved in that heavily, and we've enjoyed some good success so far, and we're hoping to continue that. The other thing is the 30 by 30 movement, which is being run by the Ocean Protection Council. These are both California state agencies. So, but the thing...
What is the 30 by 30? Because that's a big deal.
Okay. 30 by 30 is an initiative it's really a global initiative, but here in California, they want to set aside 30% of the coast and lands, by the way, by the year 2030, which is 5 years away. Yeah. So they're looking at ways. Right now, 16% of the coast is occupied by marine protected areas. 16%. If they have their way, they would double the amount of coast that is a marine protected area. So they've told us at this point, we were very successful early on. CCA California was very successful early on in getting the Ocean Protection Council to say there will be no new marine protected areas as part of the 30 by 30 movement. We have them saying that. We have them on video saying that in their own meetings. Yeah. And they've written letters to us as well. But I think that, but they're looking to the Fish and Game Commission to expand the number of marine protected areas, so they won't be doing it. OPC won't be doing it directly. They'll be doing it through the Fish and Game Commission. Right. So that's why it's so important to be working with the Fish and Game Commission to prevent that from happening, and telling the OPC, you really, if you include all the national marine sanctuaries we have up and down the coast around the islands, the new Chumash National Marine Sanctuary, the one up in the Farallon Islands, we would have more than 30% of the coast covered by those. And and we worked hard to make sure that we would be allowed to fish in those national marine sanctuaries, the latest being the Chumash National Marine Sanctuary. We worked really, really hard with the feds to make sure that that would not include a ban on fishing. And the Chumash National Sanctuary is massive. It's up there, you know, it starts around Point Conception. It's just a massive piece of water.
Yeah.
And so if they said you can't fish there, it would have been disastrous. So I kind of forget where I was going with all the 30 by 30 stuff. Oh, so here's the point I want to make.
Yeah.
These agencies seem to fixate. I can liken it to maybe a pit bull. They seem to fixate on a target, and their target is recreational anglers, recreational fishermen. They fixate on recreational fishing. They think that is the panacea to protecting the coast, when in reality, we are not the issue. The major issue is water quality, poor water quality.
Yes.
And underscoring all of this right now are all the fires that took place up in the Pacific Palisades and Malibu.
Yeah.
Okay, we had some rains this weekend. We're going to get more rains coming. They're going to come. They're going to wash. And I mean, we're talking about thousands of homes and countless automobiles.
All of that's going to get washed.
Tragic for everybody.
Horrible.
But you imagine the chemicals that were dumped into the ash as a result of these fires.
Yeah.
When the rains come, all this ash, all these toxins are going to wash right into Santa Monica Bay.
Yes.
And they're not going to stay in Santa Monica Bay. The currents are going to carry them all throughout the Southern California Bight. So the problem is the marine protected areas can't do no good. This is something that's pervasive.
Right.
And just because you have a line in the water that says this is a no fishing zone, those toxins don't know that.
That's right.
They move right in, they settle in, they kill all the marine life. They're going to kill the kelp, they're going to kill all of the fish, they're going to kill all the growth in there, they're going to settle into the bottom and kill the worms and shrimps and all the stuff that the fish feed on. And the marine protected areas don't do any good.
Right.
They do no good. So what these agencies, our belief is that these agencies need to focus on water quality. First and foremost, it's the major issue affecting the health of our California marine resources. It is, they won't even let you go in the water up there right now.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, stay out of the water.
So why don't they focus on it? Why do you think that is it just an easier target, the recreational fishermen, or what?
Oh, definitely an easy target.
Yeah.
We're low-hanging fruit.
Yes.
We're low-hanging fruit. I think you have a lot of these people who are living, you know, along the coast from Laguna Beach up to, you know, Malibu area.
Yeah.
Who look out and they see boats like, you know, our boats out here, you know, and they go, I hate that they're out there catching the fish right in my backyard.
Yeah.
We need to protect the coast from them.
Yeah,
We're
right.
visible.
Right.
But the toxins and the runoff that's washing into the oceans is invisible, and they don't even consider that. So, you know, what they need to, and by the way, they'll also claim lack of jurisdiction or lack of standing in governing this, but that's a cop-out.
Yeah.
They need to go to other agencies, their sister agencies, either privately or publicly, like Cal EPA, and say, we need to do something to control this runoff. It's not just the fires, by the way.
Right.
It's, you know, you go down to Imperial Beach, you have massive amount of sewage runoff down there. Excuse me. There was just a big sewage spill in San Clemente. So you have these spills all the time that are going out. You have urban runoff up north. Agricultural runoff up north, running into the ocean all the time. So it's a complex, hard to solve problem.
Yeah.
They don't want to tackle it. They'd rather just say no fishing.
Demonize dad and his two kids out trying to catch a blue perch, right?
Right.
Way easier.
Yeah, it's just like the governor standing there with a no fishing sign saying stay out.
Right.
You know, so that's the problem. They're not, and we've Wayne Cotto, my good friend, and now retired from CCA, for so many years has fixated on this. Say we got to get these waters cleaned up before we do anything else.
Yeah.
It won't do any good to say we can't catch fish if there are no fish.
Right. 100%. And CCA is out there leading the fight.
We are
with
leading
regard
the fight.
to this.
We actually just issued a big news release about this runoff that just underscores the problem with poor water quality off our coast.
Yeah.
But these agencies, like I would look to the Ocean Protection Council. If they really want to protect 30% of the coast, stop the runoff along at least 30% of the coast.
Yeah.
I would say all of the coast.
Yeah, and then they'd make even a bigger impact and do what they purport to want to do.
Yeah. It's just, to me, it's just ridiculous that they say, hey, we're not going to let you catch any sand bass while they let, sewage run off, into the ocean waters off Imperial
Yeah,
Beach.
it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Of course, when you get politicians involved, not a whole lot makes sense, Jim.
That's true.
Most of the time.
That's very true. So anyway, those are some of the things we're doing. We're working on habitat issues. We're trying to build as many artificial reefs as the state will let us. And the state is a little strange. They don't like artificial reefs in California. The ecologists or the environmental groups don't believe you should be putting anything out there that wasn't there originally. So we're working hard. We're working on kelp restoration projects. We're working on the hatchery program, putting more and more white sea bass out into millions of white sea bass. We're releasing them out into the waters for the enjoyment of anglers and commercial fishermen everywhere.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So
CCA is doing a lot of great things, but they can't do it without the support of the average fisherman out there,
absolutely.
right?
We need every listen. If every licensed angler in California joins CCA, I'll abbreviate that. I'll say every licensed ocean angler in California joins CCA, we would be an unstoppable force for good.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we need. We need numbers. We need anglers standing behind us, making sure when we go to Sacramento and we talk to the Fish and Game Commission, or we talk to the Ocean Protection Council, or we talk to legislators, we do that a lot as well. They should know that we represent a powerful group of anglers, men and women and kids who enjoy the sport, who love the ocean, who respect the resources, but want access to it. The access is the key thing.
Yes.
In other words, we don't, the CCA doesn't, we don't mind, seasonal regulations. We don't mind good, strong, science-based regulation.
No, we're all for that.
Right, we're all for
We
that.
want to protect all this.
Right. We just want access to it.
Of course. I mean, when Teddy Roosevelt decided to put aside all these national parks, he didn't put them aside so that people in the United States couldn't go and visit them. He put them aside precisely so man could go and take his family and renew his soul and gain from the environment what is such an important part of our lives and what we'd like to share with everybody out there.
Yeah, absolutely. We want kids to get out there. I mean, we do
that's so important.
A lot of kids trips, as you know.
Yeah.
We do them right here through 22nd Street Landing. Take kids out from all walks of life, all economic strata.
Yeah.
Just take them out and let them go catch a fish. And once they catch a fish, they develop an incredible love for the ocean.
Yes.
And I know it happened to me.
Yeah.
My first fish I caught was right out here. I caught a bonita, on my first fish at 5 years old, and all of a sudden I was like, I love this. This is, I became a real nerd about fishing.
You thought you hooked that bonita, but that bonita hooked you, right?
That's right. That's right. So we got we got many things going on. We have a new, now that Wayne's retired, we have a new executive director, Chris Arachidera.
Chris is great.
Yes.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah. Hey, Chris. And Tony Bangos, assistant director. Hey, Tony, how you doing? They're all working really hard out there to make sure. I mean, they're, once again, you thought, Wayne was busy, and they had 3 people when Wayne was there. Now it's just 2 of them.
Oh my God!
And they're running around. They're going
with a chicken leg with their head cut off.
Right.
Yeah.
We have good volunteers, though.
Yeah.
I'm chair of the marketing committee for CCA California, and I have a lot of good members on my marketing committee. I've got from once again from all areas of the sport fishing community helping me out. Doing social media work, but almost all the publications give us, are providing advertising space for our messaging. So that's what I do. We have an advocacy or a government relations committee that works really, really hard. So much of their work, by the way, is behind the scenes. People don't see it, and that's what's amazing to me is you don't understand that a lot of our work has to take place behind closed doors.
Yes.
Meetings we have with commissioners and regulators, with politicians. A lot of those, we don't make public what we're doing there because we want to keep our conversations confidential that we're having with them, but we're constantly advocating for the sport fishing community in California.
Yep.
Constantly. We have fundraising committee. Some of the other things we got coming up, we have the Anthony Shea Awards Dinner coming up here May 1st. We want everybody to go to the Anthony Shea Awards Dinner. We'll be at all the shows, Day at the Docks, you name it. If you have any questions, you want to learn more about CCA, how you can not only join, but how you can help. We're always looking for volunteers.
Fantastic.
Whatever you can do to help.
Jim, it's been a pleasure. Anything else? Do we cover it all?
I think I talked myself out so far.
It's been a pleasure. You know what? We should do this on a regular basis, once a month or once every couple of months.
Absolutely.
You're a fantastic guest.
Thank you.
And I know everybody out there learned a lot. And this is time sensitive on the sand bass. So please, right now, don't delay. Make sure you do something with regard to that. And also come visit Jim, and we'll be there. This guy, Mackie, you haven't met him yet, but he'll be at the Fred Hall show or Bart Hall show, whatever it is, the Hall show. He'll be there every day. We'll be there. It'll be a great opportunity.
Excellent. Thank you so much for having me on.
You got it, Jim. Thanks again, my friend.
All right.